Hi everyone, Peter from Vancouver SEO Company here. How are you? Thanks very much for joining us on our newsletter for March this year. I do appreciate you taking the time to actually sit down and watch this. It means a great deal to me. First of all, we're going to go through and for those who haven't seen these newsletter videos before, we're going to talk about what it is that's happened in the last 4 weeks on the web, and we're going to talk about what we predict will happen in the next few weeks as well. So basically, the main topic for February was with the release of a change in the algorithm for Google. What we saw was that there were some content changes through how it is that Google views your site. And what we saw was that the websites themselves who have a certain site structure, a certain content layout, a certain design, did reasonably well out of the algorithm change. And what we found was that those that weren't well structured, that didn't have fresh original content and had poorly developed sites, they went through and they struggled against the algorithm change. So some websites did very well, some websites did not too well at all. And what we've taken out of that is that we've discovered that the websites who, as I said, have got fresh original content that is being added to them consistently, then obviously tie in with making sure that everything is working on the website. So you make sure that all your pages are working, or you don't have any links going anywhere to anything that's broken. And the general site structure, meaning not only just the pages, but how it is that they're all linked, all tied in together and is all working. What we found was that those websites that have those two ingredients, plus you add the relevancy of the content as well as another element, and then tied in with the ability for the website to actually appear on any size screen. Okay, so that ties in basically with the algorithm update as well. And from there we saw that some websites had a big leap, some websites had a little leap backwards. And what we've actually come up with is basically, if you're following a certain set pattern and you're getting good consistent results with what you're doing, you're heading in the right direction. If you're not adjusting your website consistently enough, what will happen is that you'll actually start sliding down the ranks. And we believe that this change that they've made is designed to go through and just weed out those who aren't really making a lot of changes to their websites. So that moving forward, what we're going to talk about now is SEO planning for website success. So with that, what we're talking about is making sure that your search engine optimization is set up so that the website is then geared to work properly for you. We want the website to be doing 90% of the work so that when people come to you, they're conditioned to actually be wanting to deal with you. They want to come and be with you. They see you as the person who can solve their problems. So for that to be doing what it is that we want it to do, we find that the website needs to be set up in a certain way, and it needs to be client attractive is probably the right term. And what we want to try and set up is so that the client attractive website ties in with the SEO. And then what happens is that once we've got all that set up, we can then make sure that the plan that we initiate and then stick to, and then follow, will actually be a plan that delivers results. So for example, you might have a website that's got several different tabs on it, and it looks lovely and it's fluffy, and what it is that it doesn't really do anything. So what we want to do is we want to give people information so they can make an assessment on the website and craft that information on a specific topic, and that would be choosing your ideal client for your website. And what it is we will do is then basically set up so that the search engine optimization works off the website. So the website is the vehicle for connecting with your clients, and the search engine optimization is the fuel that goes into the car. And when the two work together, look, you can go a long way, and it can go through and do it very, 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 very well. But if it's not done well, you'll have a car that doesn't run very well at all and doesn't get very far. It most certainly takes a bit of time to go through and actually instigate and set up and correctly identify where your good areas and bad areas are going to be. But with anything, it's a process that is well worth following because of the fact that it can have very good results later on down the track. So the next thing we'll talk about, which happened during the month, which we noticed, was the death of social media selling. And with this, we saw that people are not making high-end ticket sales on Facebook, Google+, Tumblr, whatever the case may be. What we're seeing is that yes, you do need social media. It's a good way of connecting and maintaining a relationship with people, albeit ever so briefly. But the idea is that it can be used just to touch them and just let them know you're still there. However, the big ticket items are still coming from, you know, the ability to actually get face-to-face with people, to interact with them, so that people can read your body language, they can understand what you're saying, they can understand the inflection in your tone, and they can go through and actually appreciate what it is that you're saying. They can see your enthusiasm for what it is that you do. And that sort of face-to-face selling you can't do over Facebook or Google Plus or Twitter or Tumblr. And it's the ability to wear your heart on your sleeve that actually makes such a big difference. People don't buy off people for the sake of their social media status. They buy off people because they see and they have that connection with them. And that connection only comes really from face-to-face interaction. You don't traditionally see anything that, an environment where Facebook is the sole selling agent for a company, for example. It's all about relationships. So the next thing the next thing we did speak about during the month, your ideal client and using your ideal client information to set up search engine optimization. Your ideal client, when you go through a complete process, enables you to go through and actually say, okay, these are the type of characteristics that my client has. They do a certain thing. They look at they found us in a certain way. There's a whole sequence to how it is that these people are actually finding you. And what we want to do is we want to hone in on the characteristics and the habits, I suppose, of the ideal client. And we want to say, okay, so if we're going to be using the right type of words to attract the right type of people who we want, and the right type of people are going to be people who treat your business with respect, they treat you with respect, they treat you as a professional, and they just go through and they make sure that they're courteous to you when they're dealing with you. Those sort of people, you might want to say, okay, they use a specific range of words and they have a specific range of emotions that tie in with these sort of words. And then that ties in with how it is that they might search for you, for example. So the idea would be that you want to go through and through the search engine optimization and the ideal client, you want to marry the two together and then create something which is basically a client attractive website, and it becomes something that they can actually find you relatively easy on using their sort of manner or their methods of search. The idea is that we want to take how it is that people search for stuff and we want to turn it into something that's beneficial for us. So we tie that in with our search engine optimization. So we'll make each page, if necessary, we'll make each page a slightly little bit different with the topic that they're searching for. And then what we can do is we can then move forward from there and say, okay, look, this is what this is what they're searching for. This is how they're searching for it. And this is what we need to do. So with that, basically what you're trying to do is use the search engine optimization to marry up with the ideal client information to bring the right people to your site, but also it then repels the wrong people. Okay, so we want to work with those that we want to work with. The last thing that we spoke about for this video in relation to what happened during the last 4 weeks was we're talking about search engine optimization and leverage and what it is that other people are completely missing. And we talked about how it was that the search engine optimization was actually set up in, when it's set up correctly, it can be very, very good for creating leverage. And by leverage, I mean leverage over your opposition. So as an example, if your opposition has, let's say, a YouTube channel, and they can go through and they can post their videos and they can do all that sort of information. It's the ability of yourself as a website owner to go ahead and look at what they're doing and see how they're conducting themselves on the YouTube channel. And say, okay, where can we pick up leverage over these people? And the ability to take a look at the structure of the video and timing and details that go with it really can give you a lot of leverage over your competition. The competition won't put a great deal of effort in because they may not know any better. But that then gives you the opportunity to go ahead and say, okay, this is what we know, this is what we can implement, and this is what we know that over time will give us a better benefit than what our competition is currently getting. So look, that's a very, very straightforward approach to it. That's covered like a lot of information in a very short period of time. If you always like, there is links back in through the text of the newsletter itself. So if you want to go through and read the text, most certainly you can. that will then give you the ability to have a look at, and just take your time reading it, that's okay. And also, I would like to say thank you for actually watching the video, and it's been look, a pleasure to go ahead and present this for you once again. I'm actually enjoying this. It's very much a great deal of fun. And just one last note before we leave, there is a special offer in this. So basically what it is the first 7 people to get in contact with me have the ability to go through and get a website and SEO health check conducted for them. Now normally this is $197. What we're doing for the first 7, that's free, but only if you're inside the first 7. If you're not inside the first 7, I'll still do it, but unfortunately it's a situation where just a little bit slow on the draw may have cost you. But the idea is that we can go through and we can create a time to have a look at your site, take a look at your search engine optimization, and see if there's any improvements that can be made. So once again, thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it. My name's Peter from Vancouver SEO Company, and I'll see you in April. Bye-bye.